Hello everyone, and welcome to another video talking about the changes that are coming to Dead by Daylight and going over the news released in the stream this week. So, first I'm going to go over the Bloodweb changes and update that is going to be coming sometime this month, I believe, for us. They said it is soon because all of these changes they announced on stream have been confirmed. So first up, they showed us node cost is going to be based on rarity now. It will no longer be based on its location on the Bloodweb. So right now, if you notice, all of the nodes close to the middle of the Bloodweb are 3k. Then on the circle outside of that is 5k, and then on the very outer edge of the circle is 8k. But with this new Bloodweb, all the costs are going to be based on rarity. So you see here, common is 3k, uncommon is 4k, rare is 5k, very rare is 6k, ultra rare is 7k, and teachables will be 5k. So that means no more 3k perks or 3k teachables even. They're all going to have this set standard cost. I've also improved the pacing, so there's going to be a smoother progression when starting a new character and prestiging. Progression in the Bloodweb will no longer follow a linear progress anymore, and there's going to be better repartition of rarities and item types. So rare things will be rare, common things will be common, things like that. So they said the entire animation will be 0.2 seconds. It is enough so that you can change your mind about buying something, but fast enough for you to move quickly if you're spending a lot of points. Another big thing they have done is no more confirmation pop-up, so you don't have to double click after spending your points anymore. That will be awesome. The only time you will get this confirmation window pop-up is for the mystery boxes because it has to tell you what is in the box. So they have also said the entity speed is slower than players on certain circumstances. So one example they gave of this is when you're finishing the Bloodweb, as it eats the last item on the Bloodweb and then transitions to the new Bloodweb, the entity will kind of eat the last item a little slower so that you can get that, oh, there goes the last item, I'm getting a new Bloodweb now. They said that there is going to be an improved UI for showing subtraction of blood points from your bank and all that good stuff. Some add-ons and offerings have seen a change in their rarity in this Bloodweb update. So odd bulbs and anti-hemorrhagic syringes are going to be ultra rare versus the very rare they are now. Styptic agents and sapphire lenses will now be very rare, previously rare. And then onto the offerings, the murky reagent is now very rare, previously rare. The bloody party streamers will now be rare, previously common. And then all light related offerings, these are the bouquets, have been removed from the Bloodweb and mystery boxes. I say mystery boxes instead of chests because you cannot find offerings in chests, so I think they mean mystery boxes, not chests. So if you see any of those light offerings in your current Bloodweb, you may want to grab them now because very soon you will no longer be able to get them. This last bit that is coming with the Bloodweb changes are the adjustments of daily rituals. So they said that they want daily rituals to be reachable and completed easily every day, and that right now there are some rituals that are not so easily completed. So they're making it so that the requirements have been lowered and the rewards have been adjusted accordingly. So there's going to be no more different tiers, really, of daily ritual. They said they're all going to be like the same kind of standard requirement, you know, X amount of hooks, X amount of gens, X amount of sacrifices, etc., etc. And then they're all going to be basically the same blood point giving award. So that's the change to the dailies. And those are all the changes associated with the Bloodweb / UI patch thing that's going to be coming pretty soon to Dead by Daylight. Now, let's get on to the Wraith stuff. So everything I'm about to say for the Wraith are potential changes, okay? These are not set in stone. These are still being tested. So do not worry about any of this. It's still being tested and talked about and whatnot. Alright, so something interesting that they have done for the Wraith update is they have actually made a post on the Steam forums about the Wraith update, listing all of the potential changes they are currently thinking about, and you can actually comment on this post about your thoughts on the changes, on whether you agree with them or do not agree with them, and the devs are gonna read it and see what is good and see what is not liked. So I will post the link to that post in the description below, along with the link to the Twitch stream and stuff. So let's get on with it. So, the Wraith's successful cloak and uncloak sound, that whooshing sound, sounds like this for any of you who are unsure of what it is. Is going to be set to a radius of 56 meters. They might try 40 meters, reduced from the global sound it is now. So survivors will no longer be able to hear it regardless of where they are on the map. And they are going to adjust his add-ons to affect the sound of this whoosh. So the add-ons that affect this whooshing sound would change it by 8 meters and 16 meters respectively. And his bell ringing, which is when he's actually uncloaking or cloaking, will be set to a 24 meter sound range and will no longer be affected by add-ons. The Wraith will be able to break pallets and open lockers while cloaked, and his cloak speed has been increased from 3 seconds to 1.5 seconds. So that's when the Wraith is going into the spirit world and turning invisible. It will only take him 1.5 seconds to go fully invisible. They adjusted the speed curve applied to his cloaking action, so he'll have 100% of movement speed for 95% of the curve, and then the final 5% of him cloaking will increase to 110%. Now his uncloak speed is staying 3 seconds long, but they have changed the speed curve to be a lot more forgiving. So for the first second, the Wraith starts uncloaking by raising his bell, and during this time the Wraith will move at 50% of his movement speed. Then after 1 second he will hit his bell for the first time, and his speed will increase over the next second from 50% to 60%. The Wraith smacks his bell a second time after 2 seconds, and his speed gradually increases from 60% to 90.5%. So, to explain these numbers they are giving him, they said survivors running in a straight line will cover 4 meters per second. If a survivor reacts to the Wraith uncloaking right away, the survivor will gain a total of 12 meters, and the Wraith will cover a total of 9.21 meters. So that means that's a difference of 2.8 meters, and then there's a 4.5 second catch-up time for the Wraith. If the survivor reacts to the Wraith's actual bell ringing, they will only cover 8 meters in 2 seconds, whereas the Wraith will cover 6.68 meters, so there's only a 1.3 meter difference, and then the catch-up time will be 2.19 seconds. So this means that a Wraith should actively be looking to uncloak undetected for the first second to get the most out of his uncloak during a chase, so that he can sneak up on survivors. They adjusted the stun he gets when he's burned with a flashlight. So it takes 1.5 seconds to burn the Wraith with a flashlight instead of 1 second. And then the burnout animation, so this is while he's being stunned and uncloaked, because of the flashlight, has been reduced to 3 seconds. It was 4 seconds. And then they are thinking of doing this spirit world vision, where blood and scratch marks will be brighter to the Wraith, and they're still debating on a black and white mode. Those are the suggested changes for his base kit. Now let's look at changes to his perks. Bloodhound perk, they will increase the intensity of how the blood stands out to be equal to the spirit world vision blood standing out. They are gonna keep Predator as is. Then Sloppy Butcher is gonna have a lot more blood and possibly gain a status effect that takes longer to be healed. Then Shadowborn is actually getting a lot of adjustments to it. They are going to remove the blind faster, and then they take longer to recover from blindness. And they also are removing the see brighter in the dark. They are going to change the field of view gain to be 9, 12, and 15 instead of the 3, 5, 10 it is now. And on stream, what they said is that someone who is running Shadowborn will be easier to blind because their field of view is bigger. That means there are more angles that you can aim the flashlight at them from. So I guess that's their reasoning for removing the faster blind time and all that, is that it's already easier to blind someone with Shadowborn because they have such an increased field of view. This last change is not specific to the Wraith, but they are going to lump it in with the Wraith Cube, and that is changes to the flashlight. So flashlights and add-ons are gonna lose this effect that I'm about to say. So any flashlight or add-on that you see this phrase increases the flashlight beam effects against the killer. And then here's the second phrase, increases the power of the flashlight beam. So all those add-ons that have those two phrases in them are gonna have that effect removed from them. And so to give you a list, that is the utility flashlight, the focus lens, the high-end sapphire lens, the power bulb, the intense halogen, the odd bulb, and the tear optic will all have their effects changed. Now, there will still be add-ons to increase the length of the blind, so this is how long the killer's screen stays white for, and you will still be able to chain blind a killer. It's just there will no longer be any insta blinds because there will be no add-ons or flashlights that blind the killer faster. Now keep in mind, again, these are all potential changes. These are not set in stone, these are being tested. So do not panic yet if you disagree with any of these changes being discussed. So that covers the two big topics discussed in the stream. Now I'm going to go over the roadmap and then bugs and issues and stuff. Another big announcement I forgot to mention was this. They are looking at the palette distribution and they are working on making maps more balanced for everyone. So map balance changes are currently in progress and are being looked at. Another thing is that they found this bug with Freddy where during the 3 seconds after he dreams somebody, he can't interact with anything, and that is a bug. They are working on a fix for that. So on this roadmap, as we see, we got the Bloodweb, we have the Wraith update, we have the Emblems Point System update. Now here is what they said. There is going to be a public test build for the Emblems Point System update. So this means that you can opt in for the public test build and you can play the game with the new ranking system before it is released live. They are doing this so that way when they actually release the emblem system, that it will have been thoroughly tested and will be in a balanced and good place that players are happy with, instead of just implementing a system right away that may not work as they thought it would and then having to adjust it afterwards. So get excited for that. A public test build is coming along with the new ranking up system. Now after that, we also have this mention of a winter event. So that is probably going to be in December, I'm thinking. And I am very excited to see what this winter event will be, if it's going to bring us new cosmetics and more blood points. Next, we have the general issues. So they have the loss of progress, all platform fix. They said the fix they did is working well, so they are going to release it for more survivors, but they are still not releasing it for everybody yet. They're just increasing how many people are using the system to make sure that it actually fixes the problem and prevents save files from being lost. They also fixed the issue connecting to online services. Apparently, a lot of people were having some network issues and couldn't play the game, so that has been fixed. They are still testing the one gate on Azerov's. They fixed the 3-man lobbies bug, which was a bug I encountered quite often, both as survivor and killer, where what would happen is that, let's say you have a full lobby, and then one person leaves, and then you never get the fourth person. It just is infinitely searching. Or 3 people load into a lobby, but the fourth person never ever loads in and infinitely searched. That was super annoying, and I'm glad that has been fixed. And they also fixed this save game error that was happening to some people. Now let's go on to the PC bugs. They are looking at some maps where the pallet distribution isn't distributing pallets properly. They're looking at We're Gonna Live Forever and Save the Best for Last not working properly. Then there's a DirectX 11 and Windows 8 issue. They are trying to reproduce it, but they are having troubles with it. They said that it's hard for them to fix a problem when they do not know what causes the problem. And they said updating worked for some people, but it apparently didn't work for everyone, which was unfortunate. And then they are still looking into the Shack pallet issue of survivors getting stuck in the Shack pallet. And then we have the console bugs here. So they have fixed or put in a hotfix for a Survival Friends host issue. Their rank reset, they say contact QA for individual cases. They're still working on the FPS issues, unexpected disconnects, the bug in the achievement Where Did They Go not awarding properly, and then sessions closing after being suspended. All in progress and being looked at. And that covers all the big, important news revealed in this week's stream. If you wish to get stream overviews as soon as the stream is over, rather than waiting for me to make a video, you can join my Discord. I will link it in the description below. And in these stream overviews, I also include the Q&A section of this Twitch stream. If you guys request me to include Q&A in the videos, I will, but for now I will keep excluding that section from the videos just for time's sake. I also want to encourage you guys to share your opinions about what you think about all the changes they discussed on the stream, if you agree, if you disagree. I like to hear other people's opinions and get a discussion going. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope this video has helped you out, and as always, good luck out there in the fog, and see you next time.